Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Talk Financial TV. Today I attended a seminar on the topic of gold, presented by a firm who advocate the concept of holding gold as a hard commodity rather than either investing in gold through, for example, an index fund or a tracker bond. And the main point of their presentation was that for people who wish to hedge against either a euro currency collapse or to hedge against the possibility of spiraling upward inflation based on quantitative easing, that the holding of hard commodity gold would be a very good way to minimize your risk. I'm not so sure I agree. I know that the topic of buying gold is one of common interest to a lot of people for the past number of years, but I will point out that, like any other asset class, gold is not without its risk. You could have bought gold, for example, 4 years ago at about $730 an ounce, 2 years ago at about $2,500 an ounce. The investor who bought gold 4 years ago would clearly have been very happy. The one who would have bought gold 2 years ago, maybe not so much. So clearly there's certainly risk in buying gold. In the event that the euro currency was to collapse, yes, the presenter is correct, I believe, in saying that gold would probably increase in value because there will be a greater demand for gold as people shift away from paper currency on a temporary basis. And equally so, if there was to be spiraling upward inflation based on quantitative easing, as the value of money dilutes based on that inflation, gold could very well climb in value also. So therefore, I would be of the view that there is an opportunity to be exposed to gold, but not whereby you believe that you have got a minimal risk investment, because you don't. Gold is like any other asset class, and its value will fluctuate on a daily basis and will be determined by market demand for that particular asset. I think more importantly, if you're considering what to do with your money and considering gold as being a relatively safe haven, gold is an asset class that one should consider holding as part of a diversified, balanced and mixed portfolio. Most importantly, you should understand the risk of any asset class that you are investing in, be it gold, equity, property, government bonds, cash, currency or otherwise. Understanding risk, the nature of that risk, the location of the risk, understanding the measure of that risk and your tolerance for it is of critical importance, and that will determine should you buy gold, should you buy sterling, should you buy dollar, should you buy property, or indeed should you keep your money in a bank. There's also a school of thought that wonders how safe is it at the moment to be exploiting bank deposit rates which are relatively high. You'll secure 4 or 5% on a 12-month deposit account at the moment in Ireland. The high interest rate reflects the risk of the bank because Irish banks need your money. On the other hand, it is also secured by the Irish state, and the Irish state is further intrinsically linked with the European Central Bank and indeed with the IMF. And so therefore, while there's obviously a risk in Irish banks at present, there are ways of understanding that risk and having a tolerance for it. Going back to our presenter today in relation to gold, I think it is too easy and too simplistic a view to say that holding money on deposit in Ireland for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years is a high risk. There's a risk, it's not necessarily a high risk, and I think that the important thing is to diversify, understand risk, and make sure that you get investment advice from an office that is rewarded for the advice and not just rewarded for the sale. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, take care of your money, and we wish you well. Bye-bye.